Hello there, and welcome back to the SWTVC show right here on YouTube, the streaming home of the SWTVC crew and TVC March Madness. I'm your host, Evan, or as you may know me on Instagram, at Mile High Ground, and we are gathered today to mark the halfway point of this year's tournament, celebrate some wins, and mourn some losses. But before we get into the March Madness of it all, let me introduce the rest of today's panel. Joining me today, as almost always, is my SWTVC teammate, someone whose skills with a lightsaber may not rival Master Yoda's, but his knowledge of the Force and of that galaxy far, far away certainly rivals Hu Yang's. It's the Vintage Concepts himself, John. How you doing, man?
Hello, good. How are you?
Oh,
long time
great.
No see.
Yeah, I know. It's like we were doing this a few days ago. Yeah. Oh boy. But yes, it is not us. We're not alone. We are joined by not one, but two guests today. Faces that should be familiar to all of you watching at this point. First up, no, he's not a member of the Blue Man Group, though he does look good in the blue face paint. He is a Kiwi man. He's middle-aged, and he collects Star Wars figures. It's Jason, the middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. How you doing, buddy?
Kia ora, Evan. Kia ora, John. Kia ora, everyone. It's awesome to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Oh, anytime. And I say anytime. I mean, again, this is such a stupid well we go to every time we talk to you, but what time is it for you?
It is just after 7 a.m. Sunday morning from the future.
That is dedication. We appreciate you making the time.
Extra confusing because our clocks moved an hour forward last week, but yours didn't yet. Do they at some point? I don't know. So I think
so it's coming towards the end of our summer, so
right
then we'll adjust them again. So who knows? It's very confusing, but Google is your friend.
Yes.
I refuse to learn new things. All right. And our other guest today, he is no stranger to the show. He poses figures like no one else can, and he's always out there banging the drum for TVC. And he's taken the sacred creed that dictates his namesake. It is Toys Are the Way.
Hello there.
Welcome,
everyone.
Hello.
How are you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, you know. It's Saturday for us here. And yeah, ready to talk some TVC.
Heck yeah. Well, speaking of talking TVC, let's say hello to the chat. I just see already a couple super chats. Riley Bob, come on now, man. Look at you.
Generous as ever. Thank you.
Right on.
And yes, the madness is in full effect. Make them all already. Yes, Riley Bob. That's what I've been saying this whole time.
Yes.
And Jeff Russell also threw one in here, duplicating what Riley Bob said, but make Max Rebo first. We'll see. Where'd Max Rebo end up in the data?
Let me see. I knew that was coming, and I should have checked it a second ago. Max Rebo was 91 this year. He was on the bracket a couple years ago, but couldn't quite. The band plays on. Maybe next year. Who knows?
All right, we got Scott McManigal, Owl Runner, TVC Mackin, Grant's Galaxies, or Galaxy. Great. Here we are again, already stumbling over words. This bodes well for today's events.
We got Toys of the Way in the chat, but wait, you're here too. Well, how are you? How is it? It's magical.
Out of control.
The world between worlds or something.
But yes, so kind of want to, before we jump into everything for the day, I kind of want to catch up with you guys. So Jason, if you wouldn't mind, what have you been up to lately? What's going on over on your channel?
On my channel, good question. Like, not a lot of new figures coming along. We haven't had the surprise early shipment to New Zealand in a while, but yeah, just chilling, doing silly things, playing with plastic toys, generally just trying to amuse myself and hopefully others as well.
I want to pull up something real quick. Nope, that's not what I want to do.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. It's not 7 a.m. for me, but I'm gonna act like I'm very tired.
He's on Kiwi time.
All right. You made this.
Yeah.
Your bingo card. I wanted to mention it on Wednesday, but figured we'd save it for when you're here on the show. So how's your bingo card looking? Have you been filling it out?
Oh man, this is you guys doing an incredible amount of work for the community. Every year it's your 5th year, and the amount of just rubbish comments I see of people just I have to turn it into something fun and funny. You guys just sometimes it must feel like you're doing all this work and not appreciated. So yeah, hopefully this put a smile on your face.
It definitely did. Full blackout. It's exactly what I was saying, Grant's Galaxy.
Yes, we see these comments a lot. It's nice to see them on this bingo card. It's not always as fun to see them out in the wild, but apparently nobody wants any of the characters that hundreds of people voted for to put on the bracket, and hundreds of people have been voting for every day since then. But
yes.
I see on the bingo card, nobody wants sequel characters, nobody wants original characters, nobody wants prequel characters. Apparently nobody wants anything.
Yeah.
We don't want anything, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we want it all, but we also want nothing. Please, thank you.
I do have to admit, I missed the voting one day.
Oh no.
Which is so funny because I posted on Instagram for you guys. I posted on my YouTube channel, and then all I have to do is like click the link. But I was so busy in life that I just forgot, and then I was like, "Oh crap!"
Oh well, it's been great having you today. You enjoy the rest of your day there, and just kidding.
Do you know what? It's okay if you miss the voting as long as you don't follow up with a comment of "the days of voting are stupid."
I was about to, but I was like, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have just taken to sending us a nice little nasty personal DM instead, but
how dare you guys not keep the voting open for another hour?
I will tip the hand. It hasn't happened this year yet, but last year, even though I'm the one that turns on the polls usually, I did miss voting on one of the rounds last year, and I remember being like, "Oh, how do I explain that?"
We have so many things to remember to do all the time. You're setting up the Google poll, you're turning it on, you're posting to other social medias. I'm posting to Instagram and doing the stories and stuff. And I got to remember to turn off commenting so Tyler doesn't see 100,000 comments on every story about which character they voted for. I'm like, go vote and then put it in the comments. So there's a lot to remember. And then sometimes it's like, oh, I should actually vote as well.
Yeah, John, you had to pop in and turn on the poll because I was literally opening it up to turn it on the other day, and it's been fun all month. I have an alarm that goes off at 9:58 p.m. to remind me, and I have to explain that if I'm around anybody. They're like, "What's your phone going off for?" It's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. Totally adult cool things.
Hopefully you've also got reminders, to eat, sleep, go to work, those sorts of things, maybe.
No. I haven't been to work in 3 months.
Gotten a little bit better about that as this has gone on. I see one comment real quick. As 17.2 Nate says, I have to admit, as a 51-year-old non-computer literate person, I don't participate in this because I don't understand it. Well, you're one of the commenters. We love you, Nate. But go to that link tree down there, linktree.ee/SWTVC. It's all you need to know. You click on that, and you click through to the voting every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We make this as easy as possible. And beyond that, I don't know, have a friend help you out if you can't do it.
He's commenting on YouTube. He's 80% there.
Yeah.
They're almost there.
Yeah, so close.
You own some sort of
stay on
device.
Target.
Toys are the way. What's new in your corner of YouTube? What's new? What are you up to these days? I know you made a video about your setup.
Oh yeah, the setup is definitely going to change soon, so pretty excited about that, but also dreading packing up all this stuff. That'll be a swell time, but it gives me an opportunity to dust some stuff, so that's always cool. But other than that, nothing really new. I got like that latest wave a couple weeks ago, so it's not super fresh for me, but I don't know, just waiting to see what's next. I did get the email like everyone else that the Howler was shipping out, I think on Tuesday or something like that. It did not ship or arrive that day as it said it would. And when I followed up with them, they were just like, "Oh yeah, that's a glitch."
Who sent that? Was that Amazon for you?
That was Pulse.
Pulse.
Okay. Pulse said it was shipping out, but it did not.
I still haven't gotten that email for the Howler. I got it for several other things, including the Balin Skull lightsaber, which yay! But I'm so broke. There's a lot happening, but we'll see.
Yeah. I saw that someone did get the Howler and the Tatooine playset.
Yes.
I believe it was Pulse.
Yeah, TVC Datalorian on Instagram, also in the Facebook group, shared some images of the set. I believe he got them, at least one of them, from GameStop Canada.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, I got the emails as well. We mentioned it the other day, but since then I also got the email. So I got the email for the Howler, and then I got the email for the Streets of Mos Eisley. Also got Callahan. Haven't gotten Arsing. Trying to collect all the emails. It's fun to, you know. Can we finish the 96? Can we collect them all? We can at least collect all the emails, but yeah.
All 96 emails that are telling you the same thing as shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shipping date was 3 weeks ago or something, and then you check on Pulse and it hasn't actually shipped yet. So people are getting them at some point. I don't know, but
yep. Basil G says Pulse notifications have been wonky lately. That is, it's the understatement of the decade.
Wanted to pull up. Yeah, Rezakai said, user holiday special over on the Rebelscom forums confirmed the Streets of Mos Eisley are 100% compatible with the Navarro Cantina playset.
Oh,
that out there to chat about.
Okay.
So yeah, Navarro and
different planets. That's wrong. Don't connect them.
They might have
wrong.
They might have had the same city planners or something. I'm not sure. Well, I know Grief Karga. Yeah, maybe he designed some Mos Eisley stuff before he turned his attention in designing Navarro's glow up.
He got with the same architects and engineers. Just the Anzellans, really.
Yes.
Well, let's see. That does take us into the mail call set, or a bit of the show, since some folks in the world are getting some things where we're going to cover if we've gotten anything in the mail. And I've seen actually a few comments. I'll just start of folks mentioning Mara Jade. Her lightsaber just arrived from Disney this week. Granted, with who she's going up against, I don't know if I'm going to vote for her, but it's badass. Nice. I love lightsabers. So sorry, just had to gush about that one today.
Nice. I saw a post that I think it was a year ago that they announced the 6-inch Heir to the Empire set. So every March, we see it seemed to be getting some Mara Jade stuff. So maybe next year we'll see her in TVC. Next March.
March for Mara.
Yeah. It's Mara Madness.
Even I want you to show a similar level of commitment to me. I painted my face blue for Thrawn. I want you to dye your head ginger for the Mara Jade lightsaber shots.
All right. I don't think I'll make the cat suit look as good, but we'll see.
That's a good Heir to Empire mashup right there.
Yeah. I did do a Slave Leia costume at Celebration one year, but
nice.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
I see a couple more folks in the chat say hello, Box Bounty. He likes your
hey, man.
Santa Cruz shirt there. Toys of the Way. Aqualish Doug also. I see
Dystopian Playgrounds.
Yes. Nice to see everybody. People joining. Thank you. J Guy Studios. Nice, everybody. Kingdom of Weird. Wow. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, not a lot new since Wednesday. Like I said, a lot of emails. Still enjoying. Finally completed the first wave. Waiting for the fan channel wave to finish trickling in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason, what's the most recent thing that you've gotten?
So I found this guy in my garden because I replaced him with this guy. So that's I'm a wave behind, but picked up a couple of the Anakin. So
nice. That's a good wave to be at.
Yeah.
Oh, and this wave was in local stores on Peg. So
oh, interesting.
I picked up another Jedi Master Soul and another Dark Trooper the other day as well. But that's nothing new.
Yeah. It's still good. It's new to you-ish.
I was having a wild Friday night and putting some of the recent figures in star cases. And I was reminded that the Dark Trooper card is great, even though we complained and moaned about how it didn't need the figure again. But the card is one of my recent favorites. And then the Anakin, while it's a great figure, that card, he just looks like he's in a cloud of brown. Somebody tooted. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but
yeah, Merrick's in the room.
Yeah. I don't know. Amazing figure though, but
yeah. Jason, for those unfamiliar, you do a feature where you update figures. It's kind of like Tyler's Trash Can Chronicles, but it's you're decorating your garden. Yeah.
Got a toy cemetery.
Every now and then I get a comment. I got one the other day. It's like, y'all not be throwing your figures away like that. Like some people take it very seriously. I'm not an environmental polluter, by the way. I do go and As soon as the shot's finished, I run down the stairs and go find it.
See, that's the behind the scenes stuff that you got to start a Patreon, get your Patreon stuff going for, is watch me dig around through dirt and flowers and plants to find the little things that I do actually still want. So
Good.
all right. Well, I do see Bosk asked, are we getting yesterday's voting results live? Yes, that is on today's docket that we are going to go over who won yesterday's part of the bracket, but we will get to that shortly. Before we do, though, a couple pieces of news here, John, that you had put into the outline. So to lift a regular phrase from Hasbro's PR copy, word on the HoloNet is that we're in store for some reveals and blah, 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 blah. So
I will say, now that you brought that up, I'll just make a point saying that I don't mind copying and pasting the March Madness captions every day from the past couple of years.
Yeah,
because Hasbro does it every single time for their reveals as well. So it's all right.
We're just learning. We learn by watching them.
Yes. But so we found out this week that Entertainment Earth's Drop Zone has something listed for Wednesday, March 26th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is the usual Star Wars drop time lately. And it says Hasbro/action figures/vehicles. The copy says this launch is out of this world and packed with new action figures. Sign up for a reminder to see which one. So out of this world, is there a little clue that, maybe it's, does G.I. Joe ever go to space? I know the Transformers do, but that's usually a sign that it's Star Wars, which Yakface has come out and say, yes, that is Star Wars, a day of Star Wars drops. So oftentimes Hasbro will reveal items a day before they go up for pre-order. But the most recent Star Wars stream and the most recent Marvel stream were like 5 days to a week before the pre-orders. So they could reveal these items at any point between now and Tuesday, March 25th. Unclear. But Wednesday, March 26th also happens to be the day we have scheduled as the final day of TVC March Madness. So thank you, Hasbro, for throwing that little monkey wrench in our plans here. Or that Anzellan wrench? I don't know. But
are we a joke to them? Do they hate us?
Apparently G.I. Joe went to space 3 times. But so we're currently planning on what does it mean? What does it mean? Everyone always wants to know, what does it mean when these things happen? And we don't know. These curveballs, I don't know. We kind of take them as they happen. But we're currently planning on having the final round of voting open for 3 days, Monday the 24th through Wednesday the 26th. But if they do reveals on Tuesday the 25th, this is my plan. We haven't really discussed it. We could either shorten it to 1 day, like the other matchups have all been this year and previous years, and do them before the reveals so that it's a pure sample of what people want at this moment in time. Or we can do it after the reveals so that we're not asking for something that is going to get revealed 1 day later. Either way, that's not going to change the data too much because it kind of, we have the Sweet 16 already. We kind of know what's rising to the top already. So who knows? I guess we'll know more. What are you guys' thoughts on that if that happens?
I do want to say it just, if it does mess up what we're doing, or you ask for stuff, at least, hey, worst case scenario, something that's on the bracket gets revealed and it just affirms the community wants something and Hasbro also knows the community wants something. And so that's nice, but yeah. Or
they know to make the cool stuff that we're going to ask for before you even ask for it. So, but
it was clearly cool for a reason.
Bad outcomes. Yeah.
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 So if we have
no bad outcomes, if they reveal something that's on the bracket in the middle of voting, nobody dies. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
I am leaning towards maybe planning on, just depending on when they do the reveal stream, of maybe just doing the voting on just Wednesday, the 24 hours as we have throughout the tournament, because we did try the longer window for the championship last year. And as with HasLabs and all of that, it was still pretty much all the voting happened in that first day anyway. Very little trickled in after that. So diminishing returns.
So we had Miko on a few weeks ago. He mentioned something similar for Last Figure Standing, where it's like they keep the voting open longer, as many people have suggested. We do as well, but most of the voting happens the first day or so.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be a huge difference if we keep it open 3 days anyway. But we'll still get comments that people forgot to vote anyway. Looking at toys of the way.
Yeah, I'm going to forget to vote again. Sorry.
That's all right.
Checking that bingo card, no matter how long you have it open for, someone's going to miss it.
Yeah.
We need to put those on shirt. Just
But-
the market. Everyone
Yeah.
knows.
I'll have
Hopefully-
to, for next year, we'll have to print up some of your bingo cards and distribute them.
Yeah.
But-
But so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll know more soon. But we know that the next reveals after that are coming during the Celebration Japan panel. They released the panel information yesterday. The Hasbro Star Wars panel. It's all Star Wars. It's Star Wars Celebration. It's in the name. But it's a Friday, April 18th at 11:30 a.m. Tokyo time, which means it's 10:30 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, April 17th. So work backwards from there if you're in the States. Work forwards from there if you're in the UK. For you, Jason, that'll be Friday, April 18th at 3:30 p.m. But you and I will be sitting right next to each other holding hands at the panel. So it does not matter.
Nice.
Yes, thank you.
I'm looking forward to it so much.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. Evan, I don't know if you're able to join after all, right?
I am unfortunately having to bow out of this year. Work stuff got crazy, and yeah, bummed out.
Same here.
So, but
Same.
I
Same here.
still have my tickets,
Good.
so at least I'll always have that memory of spending money.
Yes. I have various friends that are like, yeah, I'm definitely going to Japan. And then as it gets closer, like, they're kind of all bowing out.
Yeah.
But we're standing strong, Jason. We're going to be there. It's right after the
Alright.
big Mando and Grogu panel. So, maybe I'll try to
Ooh.
sneak into that, but we'll see what happens.
We'll
Did,
see all.
did
all
they
the
ever
papers that are
release
secret.
that teaser trailer publicly? The one that they showed?
No,
Not
one from,
officially.
I think it was D23.
So we've
no,
still officially seen nothing.
yeah.
Yes.
They had, as we mentioned on Wednesday stream, they had a little bit of info coming out of the Disney parks. There was a panel or something recently where they
With the-
showed
The droids.
yeah, the BDX droids that they have built as like physical droids in the parks they use those for the movie as well. They had pictures of them at Adelphi base, where Carson and Din and Zeb get their marching orders and stuff. And then they showed images of the Falcon and the Razor Crest near Tatooine, Cloud City, and the second Death Star. Will that happen in the movie? I don't know. Is it going to be original trilogy greatest hits again? Who knows?
But I do know that we won't know a single character's name or what they look like, and we won't have figures for them until 18 to 24 months after the movie happens. Everything's a secret.
You get another Din.
Yeah, we'll get
Another
another
Mando.
I've got a theory now that Navarro's going to crash into Tatooine,
Wow.
and that's why that cantina set in the
Yes.
streets of Mos Eisley are going to connect together. So we're going to have that. That's
Nice.
something.
That'll
Yeah, the
finally
real-
be
yeah.
That'll be payoff to Super Shadow's rumors from back in the prequel era that Naboo was going to become a swamp planet and be
man.
renamed Dagobah. Things like that.
Man, I haven't heard Super Shadow mentioned in a long time, and you know
Feel
what?
the
Let's
prequel
just leave
nostalgia.
that in the past.
He would have been making a
Oh.
killing on YouTube if he was around today.
Yeah, dude. Are we sure he's not
Lot of-
one of the YouTube folks that's out
He
there
might
racking
be,
up
he
money,
might be Doom
saying
Talk or
things?
something. I don't know.
That's cool. That's cool.
Jeez.
All right. Well, yep. Tatooine crashing into Navarro. That's madness. And hey, speaking of madness, let's get into the main topic of the day, March Madness. Yay. I don't have an applause track or anything. So everybody just, I hope you're hooting and hollering at home. TVC March Madness 2025 is underway. Yesterday saw the conclusion of the round of 32. And since we haven't posted those results yet, y'all are the first to know about how yesterday's matchups shook out. Shall we walk through those, guys?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
All right. The first matchup of yesterday was Wrecker versus Kira. So the Bad Batch continues their momentum in this year's tournament, with number 2 seed Wrecker knocking number 31 seed Kira out of contention with 932 votes to her 642 votes.
Dang.
Yeah.
Did you end up making the images or not? Because I can.
There at the end of this, I do have the score graphic
Okay.
made. I need to make the graphs, but I've got the
Great.
scoring done, so we're good.
Cool.
All right.
So don't anybody ask for percentages because I was going to pull them up, but now I'm not going to. So there you go.
Yes. We will talk about those at some point. It continued to shake out as bad news for solo mains, as number 18 seed Dryden Voss could not defeat. I wrote down the wrong seeding number here.
Number
Could not
15
defeat
seed 22.
15 seed Dryden Voss,
Nope.
or no, 18 seed. Sorry. Dryden Voss lost. That's the thing here.
Dryden Voss was 18, 22
Yes.
was 15.
Yes. So maybe if he had offered the Tognath partisans some more cola clawfish, they could have reached an understanding more advantageous to Dryden Voss. But alas, he was only able to secure 37.2% of the vote.
Hey, Two Tubes was in solo. One of them, I can't remember. Honestly, I'm sorry. I got to brush up on
Fake fan
Pedro and
John.
Benthic, yeah. But
Every
they are in
single
solo anyway,
intro.
so it wasn't a total blowout for solo.
Yeah, so still good. All right. In a matchup that was close throughout the entire day, number 55, General Grievous, fell to number 42, Agent Callus. Callus racked up 816 votes to Grievous's 758. So it seems Callus is quite eager to join our collection so he can finally get that ghost.
Yes.
Wow, pretty cool.
Big resurgence of General Grievous.
Yeah, but not big enough. Can't say I remember no Asajj Ventress. The number 7 seed Sith Assassin dismantled the number 26 SM33 with 972 votes to 602.
Nice.
So Asajj is advancing once again. While Plo Koon doesn't think that clones are expendable, some clones certainly don't seem to have an issue and think that he is. The bad luck for those going up against the Bad Batch continues as number 3, Crosshair, shot down the number 30C Jedi Master 866 to 708. And this was the matchup that had everybody talking all day yesterday. These are the heavy hitters. This is what March Madness is all about. This one was a nail biter, folks. It was absurdly close all day when number 14 Simalu, Sweet Simalu, and number 46 Endor Rebel Commando faced off, with the upset going to the Endor Rebel Commando by only 10 points.
Wow.
I'll give you, that's worthy of a Tyler sigh right there out of me.
Yeah. It was close, but sorry, Sweet Simalu. Keep standing around in the background doing absolutely nothing, and we'll likely see you again next year. So.
Sweet Simalu couldn't quite crack the Sweet 16, but
yep. I'm sorry, John. I know he's your top want, but
it's all right. It's all right.
He made it. He made it to a couple rounds in. We're good.
Yeah, better than ever. So,
yeah.
Celebrating the 40th anniversary of him being in Power of the Force. So you know what? I'll take
it. All right. So she can't do that. Shoot her or something. In another upset, number 54, Padme Amidala Geonosis managed to kick number 22, Carson Teva, out of the arena with 806 votes to Carson's 768. So she is advancing to the next round. Prequel love is still there. And last matchup of the day was the third Bad Batch matchup. And yup, you guessed it, number 6, Tech, had no issues, making like Jod Nana would and putting number 38, Pirate Captain Brutus, down. Tech won with 870 to Brutus's 704. So
for Tech.
I made the scoring results. Here's that. So you can see 2 upsets yesterday, but that's yesterday's thing. So that sets us up to knowing who the Sweet 16 are. And did I put this in the right spot? Yes, I did. The updated bracket. Thank you, John.
Yes.
So yeah, that's yesterday's results. That's where we're at. Sweet 16. That starts on Monday. What are your guys' thoughts on all this?
Should we read out the Sweet 16 real quick?
Yeah, read it out.
Yeah.
I know we're going to do the matchups in a minute, but let's just go over who the Sweet 16 are in general. Do we want seed rankings? I'll give them anyway. Number 1, The Stranger. Number 17, Mara Jade. Number 9, Arlyle Shoes. Number 8, Echo. It's so small on my screen. Let me zoom in a little bit to my old age. Number 4, Luthen Rail. Number 13, Saw Gerrera. Number 12, Ponkrell. Number 5, Baze Malbus. Going to the other side, we got number 2, Wrecker. We got number 15, Two Tubes. We got 42, Agent Callus. Number 7, Asajj Ventress. Number 3, Crosshair. Number 46, Endor Rebel Commando. Number 54, Padme Amidala Geonosis. I almost said Coruscant. Not quite. And number 6, Tech. So quite the spread.
Quite the spread, and almost the entirety of the Bad Batch left in it. Again, Hunter is lonely in our collections, and Omega was unable to clear the first round, I believe. But other than that, they're all hanging in there. So again, hopefully that they've been on the bracket since they've showed up. They are a mainstay. I think everybody is beyond sick of asking for them. So
only 3 seasons later, and the
show's over. It started and
show's
ended
done.
in the time that March Madness has been going. So
there's a lot of love for Rogue One as well on the left side of the bracket. Rogue One Andor verse, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Rogue One always did well, and I feel like with Andor coming, I feel like people are definitely hyped on those characters.
And then a couple.
Those are 2 examples of incomplete crews, right? And they're still hanging on, and they'll still be there. Baze, I think, was my number 2 or 3 again. It's like I don't want to have him on my list anymore. Please make him. And I'm starting to feel the same way about the Bad Batch. And I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, the only way we'll get the Bad Batch is if it's a HasLab Marauder," and it's like, please no. It's just a giant ship with wings. I'm running out of space.
Yeah,
that looks cool.
It's I don't know.
I definitely want the Bad Batch to be done just because they do take up a large slot. Like I made a purpose of putting them on, especially after like it became apparent that we weren't going to get them by the end of season 3.
Yeah.
So they just took up like a whole row of my top 25. But it's kind of a principle,
Yeah. I skipped putting any of them on, I think 1 year, maybe. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I was like, oh yeah, now we got Hunter coming. I'm going to just take that as they'll maybe slowly rotate them through. And then nope, that never happened.
Even on that stream where they announced Hunter, or they announced him at Celebration 3 years ago in Anaheim. Evan and I were there. They pipelined him, and then when they actually showed him off, they had Michelle Ang and D. Bradley Baker talking on a stream, and like Patrick was asking who the next member of the Bad Batch to join Vintage should be, and she said Crosshair, and that was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, time means nothing anymore.
So
Crosshair.
But yeah, and then a couple other heavy hitters from Clone Wars still. Clone Wars always does well. Ponkrell and Ventress on here. Jedi Temple Guard lost to Bad Batch. I guess the Bad Batch was also all in Clone Wars. That's where they came from originally.
Yeah. Well, should we look at the matchups that we got coming up on Monday? All right. So these are tough ones. This one's a heartbreaker for me.
Yeah.
I just got the lightsaber, but unfortunately, I don't think I can give her my vote in this round. But we've got the Stranger versus Mara Jade.
Yeah. Wait. What do you? Should we?
Oh yeah. Predictions.
We're blazing through it. Yeah. What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about this one?
There's a lot of Stranger energy out there. People want that character. But Mara Jade also has like a lot of fans who really like Heir to the Empire, and it's gonna be a tough one right there.
Yeah.
Also with the Heir to the Empire set, I feel like a lot of people are like re-energized for that property and like thinking like, oh yeah, it would be great to get a new Mara Jade up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tyler had a lot of push for Rook, but now, as I said before, as it tends to happen in these polls, that sometimes it used to happen a lot in the like official Hasbro polls where like Legends fans would rally around one character. I think a lot of that was because they opened the polls to like more general fans, but like a lot of the people that would go to StarWars.com or read these magazines or whatever were Legends fans, so then they would just rally around one character. But it's hard to pick which character to rally around.
The comic book that they included with the lightsaber,
yes,
I've never seen this costume before, like Scarlet Witch costume.
By the Emperor's Hand, #1 or something, right?
What's
the name of the costume?
Yeah, the issue is, but this is a new cover.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to look at it. Was like, is this an easier thing for them to maybe make? They could use the Tonica legs. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Because I believe the Black Series one used some Dr. Aphra parts, I want to say.
Yeah. Or Dr. Aphra is just old enough to not have parts that would be usable. So
yeah.
Or at least not up to the modern standard.
They could maybe use the Tonicas, but she has some like various armor points and different looks. I don't know. I'll be voting for the Stranger.
I'm going Stranger Danger. Danger. And the thing about the Stranger is that there's a very vocal part of the community that likes to tell us they don't like the Stranger and the Acolyte. Yet he still did very, very well in Last Figure Standing. Came second. So.
He was a runner-up against Arlyle Schuss, and it was a very close match.
I was very surprised by that, pleasantly surprised. But
And yeah, Carrie mentioned that Black Series used the Jaina solo body.
if only we had a Jaina solo.
Alas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's really good energy around the Stranger. Also, it's just like it seems like we, for some reason, don't get these villains right away. Like
Yeah.
Balin and Shin took a while to get. Strangers obviously not out yet. Who knows if he will be coming? But yeah, that delay doesn't ever help. So
as you mentioned, for the Stranger specifically, it was. I mean, they have a hard enough time getting villains in the line, as seen with Ventress and Dryden Voss and stuff like that on the bracket. And Dooku was on for years before they finally made him. And Balin and Shin before they were announced. But at least with the Stranger, they had said that, you know, Lucasfilm didn't share assets with them. They shared the helmets with them, with Hasbro, but that's still not out until later this year. So, you know, and then they didn't show anything about the full costume or anything. God forbid we see anything from a show before it comes out anymore. But
they don't want to give away that their story has an antagonist.
Yeah.
That would be giving away too much.
Shows all good guys.
Yeah. Yep. No problems here. It's just them going out for burgers and ice cream and stuff. I don't know.
Situation normal.
Yeah.
Second breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, that ties into with stuff just being like, well, they're obviously going to make this character, or, oh, this thing's a given about any character in the match or in the tournament. You know, you're bound to see comments and stuff like, oh, that's for sure going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. It bears repeating every time it comes up. When it comes to the vintage collection, literally nothing is a guarantee. Nothing is a shoe-in. You can plan on nothing. You have to assume nothing's coming and then just hope that, you know, and keep asking for the stuff you want to see. So,
yeah, I typically don't try to put like the new Meteor character. So like Stranger wasn't on my top 25 just because I sometimes give Hasbro benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're aware that this was a pretty cool character and people were excited about it. So, you know, it's on their radar.
Yeah.
Like some properties like Ahsoka, they did very well. We got a very nice offering from that show. I actually think we did pretty decent when it comes to Acolyte. I didn't think we were going to get as much as we actually did.
Yeah. Jackie is the only one from that initial Black Series offering that we didn't get in Vintage Collection. And then, of course, we're not getting the next round of ones of Basil, Kelnaka, and Vernestra. But
Basil.
Yeah, if Tyler
Little
were
road
here,
man.
Both of Vernestra and Kelnaka I think they reuse parts in Black Series. Kelnaka was more new than I thought it was going to be, but they could easily use the new upcoming Chewbacca's legs and stuff. And I think Vernestra used some parts from Morgan Elsbeth, I want to say.
Yep.
The legs under the skirt. So they could do that. But yeah, I definitely need this. I need the Stranger, and Jackie would be nice to complete the core crew of the Acolyte.
Yeah.
I agree. I really want to put them together in that scene. I really like their saber battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because some of these things, like the Rogue One crew, we have like 2 guys left, or, you know, Baze and Bodhi, and then the Saw kind of on the periphery of the crew. But in some crews like the Bad Batch, we need most of them. So it's like, okay, do you want to, the actual Bad Batch. Oh, Kelnaka was on the. Oh, well, great. There you go.
What was he? I don't know. I
don't know.
I obviously, again, I'll mention that I just can't keep track of the Black Series tooling anymore. There's too much of it.
Yeah, I think I thought it was going to use Chrysanthemum parts, and then Yakface shared a comparison, and it actually was surprisingly new.
Yeah.
But anyway,
sweet. Shall we look at the next matchup then for the Sweet 16?
Let's do it.
Sure.
All right. Now this will be, you know, will the Bad Batch streak continue, or will the return to Tatooine continue inspiring everybody to jump on the Halloween mask craze?
And I'll say Echo was number 8 and Arla was number 9, so they're very close in the rankings.
Yeah, this will be an interesting one. I'm curious. I know I shouldn't have said anything about what I'm going to vote on the previous matchup. I'm not going to say how I'm going to vote on any of these because, again, my endorsement, not a good sign for any given character. So who are you guys pulling for in this one? Toys of the Way, let's start with you.
I got to go Echo.
Yeah.
I'm Bad Batch all the way. Yeah, I got to give that support. Yeah. Also, you know, this one, we do have half that tooling there. I don't have any tooling, I think, for Echo.
Yeah, the whole batch has pretty distinct armors that I don't think.
I think Echo has legs that are similar to the standard clone trooper, but he has some like bits and bobs added to it. So I don't know if they could use parts of it, but not other parts. I'm not sure, but
we're used to inaccurate legs, so toss them on. Why not?
Don't enable.
I'm absolutely kidding. Do not do
that. Jason, how about you? Who you pulling for on this one?
Well, as much as the Bad Batch normalized Kiwi accents in Star Wars, I'm gonna have to go with the Cantina patron Aliel. I just think we just need to keep telling Hasbro, like, there's no givens, like you said.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Tyler, I love you, I respect you, but he was talking about Aliel, but already being half tooled, so almost not eligible for the bracket. It's like, but that was just legs. Like, they reuse the legs all the time.
Yeah.
We need this guy who's, you know, I don't know how many frames he was on, but important anyway.
Like one.
One is more than none.
Shot.
Yeah, true. Fair enough. John, you
yeah, I don't know, because Arlisle was on my last figure standing top 10. Echo, I think I didn't put him on, but I put the other Bad Batch members quite high as a show of support for all of them. I'll probably be voting for Echo, but I do actually want both of these guys, and I know that, like, you know,
we want them all.
I want them all.
Yeah.
People say Arlisle already got his shot in the HasLab. He already got a good showing of support in last figure standing, but nothing is guaranteed until they're actually on my shelf. Even when they announce something like Callahan, maybe they'll say, "Just kidding, she's not coming to the UK." Maybe.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't.
We've kind of talked about. And I was hoping Lewis was here to give us some UK intel, but sadly unavailable to make it today. But yeah, going back to what was I going to say? Something thrilling and stunning, which was that I've seen a lot of people saying, I want this guy, but I voted for the other guy because I think other people are going to vote for the guy that I really want. It's like, just vote for the person that you really want.
Yeah.
Don't leave it up to other people, because like some of these, like Simalu and Rebel Commando, they're 10 votes apart. So almost every day we've had one that's like very close to 50-50. It's like 50.2 to 48.8 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, it's insane. So I would say vote for what you want. Make no assumptions. Nothing is a given. I don't know.
Every vote counts.
Yeah, every vote counts. Seriously.
Yeah, it's like we're entrenched in all of these matchups, you know, and I'm building them. But it's on the day when it goes to actually filling in the bubble for which character I'm going to vote for, I'm just like crippled with indecision. Just like, oh, but they both would be so much fun. So
yeah. I mean, even with this one for me, like, I would love both of these figures.
Yeah.
It's
Jimbo Fetts. Toy Tomb says either way, it will be a win.
Who does these matchups? Nice. They make no sense. They're rigged.
Who picked this? No, this isn't one of the Black Series March Madnesses. We actually base this on actual community
what other
feedback
people want.
and data. Yeah, it's not what we're throwing out there.
Anyway, God bless you all.
Sorry,
I vote
didn't
in the
mean to throw
opposite
shade.
way of
That's
you,
rude of
Evan.
me.
I link and I just go, I vote as quick as possible, and then I get to the end and I hit submit, and then I was like, I can't remember who I voted for. It's on pure instinct.
Yeah, sometimes I don't want to second guess too long. If I think about, I always submit my list for these like at the very end, because I'm just considering them all for way too long. I have way too long of a wish list. But I do, as I said before, like, I think if they show a figure, if Hasbro shows off a figure, I want it in my collection. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So they already showed off Arlisle, and we didn't quite get him in the HasLab, so I want him. But
maybe they
really
can put him in a wave with the Phase 1 Captain Rex at some point.
Yes, and the A-Wing pilot, and the second Utai. And holographic Munray. Oh, geez, that would be a dream come true. Anyway.
Next matchup, Luthen Rail and Saw. This one is interesting how that all worked out.
Yeah.
What are their rankings, John?
They are, Luthen was 4 and Saw was 13.
Okay. Sweet. What do you guys think on these? Jason, who you pulling for?
Oh, tough one. Like, we already have a Saw Gerrera, even though it's a filthy 5 POA figure. Does
Yeah.
actually
That
look
doesn't
quite
count.
Yeah.
good.
It
Doesn't
belongs in your garden.
Yeah. Are you
That's
sure?
right.
That's in the
Okay,
garden.
you've convinced me. I'm going Saw Gerrera then, so I can throw the old one away.
A great new video.
Yeah. Toys of the Way.
I think I would have to go Saw Gerrera as well.
Yeah.
Rogue One's just like so far in the past. Why don't we have this figure yet? That 5 POA one doesn't count. Also, it was really impressive when they did show off that Black Series one like a couple years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Just yeah, thinking about that in our scale. It's very very exciting. So I gotta go Saw.
Yeah, that Black Series version of Saw, it's really nice. It went to clearance though, didn't it?
It
Everything
did. I
goes
think
to
I
clearance in the Black
Yeah,
Series.
yeah. I'm
I
sorry, that's a
definitely saw
silly
it at
question.
Ollie's.
Yeah, it's what a waste. That's such a nice figure. So
Yeah,
I
it's
wish we
really
had
nice.
it. But yeah, John, how about you?
Let's hear what other people have to say real quick, because like
Yeah.
Tim says, want both, but got to get Luthen on this one. AFC Smoke says Luthen. Prince Galaxy have a 5 POA Sal Luthen all the way. And you know what? That's how I feel. We got to Luthen up.
Yep.
And
up.
in my opinion, he would be great. But yeah, Riley Bob said something funny. Luthen is a great character, but as a toy, he's a dude in a jacket. So got to go Saw Gerrera. I was very excited
Dude
to
in a
see.
jacket.
I was very excited to see Saw in his Rogue One attire in the Andor Season 2 trailer. We know he'll get there. He's wearing a different outfit in Season 1 and in another scene in the trailer. But maybe that's more ammo for them to make it. Not that they're tripping over themselves to make Andor figures exactly.
It's gonna have to be a HasLab with his ship. That's the only way we're getting him.
It's the only way we get anything anywhere, apparently. But
It would.
So I
it
agree,
would be
Saw
a
is
heck of a conversation.
Saw is a better design and more interesting figure, maybe. But I would love to see Luthen. Luthen maybe with his speeder bike that he and Cassian escape
be
on at
cool.
the end of Season 1.
That'd be cool. I mean, we should have gotten him. in the
Came
first
here
season.
to kill me. What have I sacrificed? Everything.
Yeah, they would both have. See, that's why we need to bring back Force Link or Comtech chips, because both of those guys, amazing quotes and monologues. What do you
Speaking
say,
of
Evan?
sacrifice, Ben Munn, shout out to you. I'm glad we can stop you. What, you want my opinion on who I'm voting for on this one?
Yeah, so we'll know the other one that will actually win.
Yeah, I was
as you
gonna say I don't want to mark one of these for death. Yeah, I don't know. I will just say this, John. You brought up an interesting point last time we chatted. Just how much media Saw is in.
Yeah.
And there is some translation across his looks that they could leverage pieces of tooling. If they were to make one, they could then be on track for some other ones that don't necessarily have to be 100% all new. I mean, there are some stark differences on some of them more than others. So,
Well,
yeah,
because he's basically the main differences are he doesn't have the breathing tube at some points, or he has a shaved head or the full head of hair, or he has his full leg, or
yeah.
John,
prosthetic.
have you compared his Rebels look to the one that we saw in the recent Andor trailer at all? How similar
No,
are those?
I haven't yet. I did see in the Andor trailer he has the breathing tube.
Okay.
He also, in the prologue for Rogue One, when he's got the shaved head, he has a breathing tube as well, because that was originally supposed to be his look before they did the reshoots and he grew out his hair. But I think like in that same time period, because it's years before, he's not supposed to have the breathing tube at that point. That was just an artifact of the filmmaking process, I guess. But no, yeah, I'll be interested to see if he in that battle that he's in at the end of the trailer, where he's in his Andor Season 1 outfit, which is totally different from his Rogue One outfit. I wonder if that's the battle where he loses his leg. We finally get to see that, because it hasn't been told in any stories yet, as far as I know. Maybe a book at some point, but I don't think so.
We need the iconic stories of how Saw Gerrera lost his leg. Yeah.
Yes, or how he alienated himself from the rebellion.
Yeah. To be fair, who am I to judge? I'm sitting here reading a book about Mon Mothma in the Senate at the moment. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking how nuts John Miko would go for an era Saw Gerrera, where you've either got two sandaled feet, or you've got two false leg feet in an upside down bubble.
Yes.
He'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All mistakes.
Acting the wrong card and everything. Yeah.
It's nothing like Star Wars characters just losing limbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they can have swappable limbs, that would be the ideal scenario. And he was in Fallen Order also. I can't remember what all he has there. I believe he has a shaved head there.
I think so. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do a full. Yeah, we can do
Red Arm C-3PO still make the list, John?
Redone C-3PO?
Oh, sorry, Red Arm.
Oh, Red Arm. I was like, so wait a minute. I'm sorry. No, he didn't make it. If he did, I didn't recognize him because of the red arm. But see, a lot of people. Somebody keeps asking about Kelnaka, and he ranked at 78, so he was close, but didn't quite.
Yeah.
Next year.
Sweet. Well, shall we move on to the next?
Yes.
Next matchup. Perfect. Ooh, defending champion Pong Krell versus Baze Malbus, who I believe is ranked number 5, 6.
Baze was 5, and Pong Krell was 12. And like Baze and Saw have been in the top 10. Some of the only unmade guys from the top 10 of the past couple of years. Some of the only unmade ones from Last Figure Standing, I believe. I don't know if Baze was in the first year, but yeah. So they've done quite well in the past. But Pong Krell won last year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm always bummed that Bodhi doesn't make it this far into the conversation, but yeah, I think it's part of that. Baze is representative of just the idea of completing that crew, which includes Bodhi.
And Bodhi was ranked 16, but in his corner, Mara Jade, who's 17, is the only one that was lower ranking than him. That is continuing on from the left side, from the west side of the bracket.
Yeah. How about, what are you guys thinking on this one, Jason? Pong Krell or Baze Malbus?
Baze Malbus all the way.
Okay.
He's one of my favorite characters. And Pong Krell, I don't hate him because he was in the Clone Wars or he's prequel trilogy. I just really didn't like him as a character. Like, I didn't like him. And I know we weren't supposed to like him.
Supposed to like him, yeah.
Oh,
he's a bit of a jerk.
You're mean. I don't like you. Why are you mean to the clones?
Yeah.
You awful forearm freak.
55.
You awful freak. Oh, man. Toys of the Way. Who are you going for?
This one's really tough. Pong Krell was not on my top 25 list this year. I knew that there was going to be a big portion of the community still pushing for him, and I agree with that because until the figure's made, you kind of still let Hasbro know. Baze has been on my list previous years, but both of them weren't this year. So I'm kind of torn here, and my decision is going to be based on how I do rank them in previous years. And Pong was always much higher on my list, so I'm going Pong.
Okay.
Nice.
So we got both would be deluxe.
Definitely both would be deluxe.
See, I'm seeing a lot of Baze in here.
Yeah. Baze wasn't deluxe in Black Series, but I think now he probably would be with all the accessories.
He's like very similar to like Paz Vizsla, I feel like, in terms of action figure. So definitely,
yeah.
I feel like he would
his gun's not quite as, not to compare sizes, but his gun's not quite as big as Paz's.
Not quite as big.
Paz, Baze, the names are similar too. They'd be bros maybe.
Yeah.
We've got to stop saying the D word. I don't think he's that tall. He's not as tall as Paz Vizsla.
No.
But yeah, his gun might take up a little bit of space.
He was only ever in 2 packs in the 5 POA line, I believe. He wasn't a single carded figure. He came with a Stormtrooper the first time, and then he came with Chirrut the second time when they repacked him. But like I said, in Black Series, he was basic. They didn't have deluxe figures at the time, I don't think. They'd have deluxe releases. But as I said before, new before redo for me, I got to go Pong. He's been on my list all 5 years. I've wanted him since he was in the Clone Wars over a decade ago. I got a 5 POA base, but he's newer for me. We got to close the chapter on the Rogue One crew, maybe by the 10th anniversary next year. I don't know.
Yeah, but anniversaries, only some of them mean anything.
Yes, I know. They actually do anything for them.
Yeah. I'm sure there will be a robust Black Series line next year.
For the 5th anniversary, Black Series got the initial ones repacked plus a new Bodhi, and all of them with photoreal. I don't know about that, but
well.
Anyway,
sweet.
I am interested to see what happens with this matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be a close one, I think.
Yeah.
Don't forget to vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, it is
Monday.
That link down in the bottom corner, the link tree, the voting link is just smack dab right there, and it says exactly when to do it. So
He's not in the
lots of
caption.
different places.
Yep.
Evan, I will ask for a fourth time to add it to the caption, but I'll do it next
yeah,
week.
I meant to add it before we did this, but I was running a little behind, so I will put it in after this stream is done and dusted. All right, next matchup. Wrecker and Two Tubes.
Wrecker was 2, and Two Tubes should have been 2, but he was 15.
Yeah. Toys are the way. Who you got?
Going Wrecker.
Okay. Let's see. And Jason.
Wrecker.
Nice.
All right. And John?
I'm trying to see. Wrecker made it into the Elite 8 last year, and Two Tubes made it only to the top 32 last year. So he's already doing better than last year, but I got to go Wrecker. Come on.
Like Saw, Two Tubes has been in a lot of things as well, though.
Yes. And he could, there's some shared parts between the two of them. And yeah, sometimes they have that cool bone necklace, that tooth necklace. They're in Solo, Andor, Rogue One, and Rebels.
That's true.
It'd be cool to, maybe they could somehow do a pack with Saw Gerrera at some point to share tooling. On both, but it has to be the Tubes.
Riley Bob, this is the one Bad Batch member I'm okay passing by because Two Tubes is so cool.
Maybe we'll be lucky to actually get Two Tubes now that they showed off that Partisan X-Wing.
Yes, now that it finally flew in something instead of just sitting there being
It
crashed.
did something.
Not that that's ever a prerequisite for stuff being made, but yeah, we got the 5 POA Two Tubes the same time as Saw, but it has the big cut in his skirt, so it's not quite as, it's a nice sculpt, but it's not quite as pleasing with the articulation as that Saw is. Yeah, maybe they could do a set with the Partisan X-Wing. I wouldn't mind that.
That'd be rad. I'd like that. Like, again, got to get those figures beholden to the vehicles. But
yes,
it's world building.
Yeah, Two Tubes twin pack. Yeah, 2-pack would be fun.
But I need
Two
Two
Tubes.
Tubes. Record.
Two Tubes was in a Marvel comic that I actually really liked from somewhere around. It was that Ashes of Jeddah, I think, one where Luke goes and visits the destroyed Jeddah, and I think he was in that. I think my memory sucks. Years of March Madness has fried me. Collecting has rendered me useless intellectually. Here we are. So anyway, next matchup. We got Agent Callus and Asajj Ventress. Now, Ventress made it to the finals, not last year, but the year before, where she lost to her master, Count Dooku. Agent Callus is, honestly, I'm a little surprised he's made it this far.
Yeah.
I don't if that's fair to say. Not that I don't want him or dislike him. I just think, I did not expect him to have that kind of pull.
I'll say Ventress made it to the top 32 in 2021, then the Elite 8, then the championship, as you said, then the final 4. So she's done well every year, especially the last couple. Yeah. But yeah, Agent Callus has never been on the bracket until this year. But I think after all the Ghost, now that we've got the Rebels heroes, at least most of their version, several of their looks,
and
towards the villains.
Mentioning the whole thing about Arlyle's legs and the reuse, it's like, well, do we disqualify Ventress then? Because we've all noted that she could very easily and accurately use Morgan's legs. Yeah. So
then Agent Callus was another.
Dicey.
Agent Callus was another one on the bubble because he could reuse probably Rebels Thrawn's legs, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
He's
thinking.
an Imperial. I don't think they could just slap some armor on an Imperial officer that we already have, but
probably parts of the upper arm, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So who you guys got for this? Who do you guys want? Toys of the Way, you start us off.
This one's hard because I actually really want both of these quite a bit. I think I would have to support Callus just because we had the Ghost. It's pretty recent. And I do want them to focus on some of those earlier versions of the season 1 characters. And Callus is a door to open that.
Yeah.
Since that's mainly when he was interacting with them a lot more, at least with this look right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's from the first episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want every trooper to fire on that Jedi, whatever he says.
Yeah.
When Kanan lights
focus
up
all fire on the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are both. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
You're making me choose between a sinister sidekick and some sumptuous sideburns. So but I'm going to have to go Ventress. I think she's just too cool. I don't have any of the Clone Wars versions, and I think it's long overdue. What are we, 370 in the Vintage Collection line? No Ventress. I want Callus as well, obviously, but yeah, Ventress for me.
Yeah, I think so. John, you were about to say something?
I don't even remember what I was about. But 2 overdue villains from animated series, like we said, there's a lot of animated love in March Madness. There's a lot of villain love in March Madness.
I was going to say, will you actually look at the Sweet 16? How many are villains?
We got Stranger, Mara Jade kind of on the bubble.
Started as,
I don't know about Arlyle Shoes. I don't know his life, but
nobody knows anything.
He looks like a really nice guy.
Agent Callus, Asajj Ventress. Crosshair, you can kind of say 5 or 6. So yeah, because I was going to say, Callus and Ventress, both redeemed villains, same as Crosshair. I love a good redeemed villain story. It's the heart of Star Wars in many ways with Darth Vader's story. Ben Solo didn't quite make it as far as we wanted, but both great characters, but we have versions of both. But I got to go Ventress first. Her bounty hunter look has been on my top 25 every year. Much like Pong Krell, she's one of the ones that was not made from the later seasons of Clone Wars when they stopped doing as many animated figures from the later seasons. But she's one that, Jason, like you said, we're 370 something into the vintage collection now. And now you start thinking of which characters do I need in the line? Do I think warrant are, important enough in the overall saga to warrant a TVC card? And she's definitely one of them that has not been made. Like over the past few years, Finn, Dooku were glaring omissions. Even Chewbacca when TVC 1.0 came back, but now Ventress kind of is one of those for me.
Yeah, I know we have the previous Clone Wars versions and all of that, but it's like I think of every image of Ventress. Every time you think of Ventress, she's doing something just like wild, like a crazy action pose, and she's needs to be able to have that modern articulation to do the cool stuff that she's doing, and none of the existing figures have rocker ankles or the new hips and things to be able to do really cool things. And she would look great with
Dooku and with Clone Wars Anakin.
Yes,
obviously I could pull up all the characters that Callus would look awesome next to, all the Rebels characters, but
she's a really cool villain too. I like her, and she's popped up in so many different things. She's not just a 4-armed freak bully like Pong Krell.
Yeah.
A bit of depth to her character.
A lot more going on there. When she died in her book, Dark Disciple, I remember reading that and I get a little teared up, and then she came back anyway, so it was fine in the Bad Batch.
Which I'm hoping at Celebration they finally clear up, because during season 3 of the Bad Batch, when she showed up, they're like, "Don't worry, we'll let you guys know sooner rather than later what this is all about." Wink, wink. That's been like a year now, over a year. I don't know.
Yes, and there's a Lucasfilm Animation 20th anniversary panel a few hours after the Hasbro one at 3:30 on that Friday. So maybe I'm hoping against hope that they'll release a little information about what's next for her, maybe, or for the animation in general.
Yeah.
Find out.
In Star Wars, no one's ever really gone.
Yeah.
True. But also in Star Wars, it would not be out of character for them to be like, "Hey, this character's back," and never mind, doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
Forget about
Darth Maul, Darth Plagueis. Yeah, the list goes on.
Yep. They're here. Never mind.
Did the Black Series one come with the cloak?
No, it didn't. And I know Tyler would be very upset if
I would love it to come with the cloak.
Yeah.
In TVC, of course.
The money that they're not spending on new legs, they could spend it on the cloak. So
I can't remember the exact timing, but the Black Series Asajj Ventress shared some parts with Darkseid Rey, which obviously we don't have in TVC, but I think now, and I can't remember if Morgan used those parts as well, or if she was new in Black Series. I don't remember. Again, sorry to even bring that up because I don't know, but so there's different things that some of the wrappings in the arms, I think she could reuse some parts from Morgan, but yeah.
Interesting.
I want all her various awesome looks.
Same. All right, next matchup.
Sure.
All right, another batcher. Crosshair versus the Endor Rebel Commando. Again, not shocked. I'm a little shocked that Endor Rebel Commando has made it this far, but again, It makes sense.
Makes sense. He was ranked 46 though, so he's outperforming his
Yeah.
ranking quite a bit.
I'm just salty that he beat Obi-Wan, but whatever. That's
Well, I'm salty he beat Simalu.
oh
True.
boy.
As Tim said earlier, maybe there's some sort of support group we can join for our number ones who got knocked out. But
going back real quick, Carrie mentions Black Series
Morgan
Morgan
has
has the
adventurous
Venture Straight Legs.
Nice. So now that we got Morgan first, she can be reused for the other ones.
Yeah,
Nice.
that'd be great. All right.
I want to do all after March Madness. I want to do all kinds of posts on what they can do, 3-packs they could do and stuff of some of these characters. I would Darkseid Ray with Palpatine and Ben Solo,
3-pack
stuff like that.
ideas. I've got ideas. I can
Yes.
help.
Yes. I always want to, so after our month-long nap in April and my Japan trip, maybe we'll see what happens. But anyway, what are you guys going with
It's
this?
gonna be a split. Yeah, toys are the way. Who are you picking?
I'm going Crosshair. The Rebel Commando definitely would be a very cool figure, and I think it's got a lot of support just when people think about like the one that they got in the Black Series, which is something we absolutely should have gotten and been able to RB build around that bunker.
100%.
That would have
for
been
the 40th anniversary.
very smart, but
Yeah.
I'm going Crosshair here.
Yeah. Can't change the past, but yeah, man, if only that was like the thing to do that year. And whoops. But Jason, how about you?
I'm after both as well, so I'm just going to do a no think vote on Monday.
Okay.
Nice.
Close my eyes and
Wherever the force guides your hand.
sick.
John, it looks like the chat here, it's a bit split.
Yeah. I think
Both would be cool.
I'm surprised, but I think there's a lot of love for the Commando. But I got to go new before redo. I got to go Crosshair. We have the 2010 one. Yes, it's not up to modern standards with barbell hips and rocker ankles and everything, but it's a really good figure for what it is. The Indoor Rebel Commando. Yeah.
It's a pretty good figure. It just really, those hips aren't great.
Yeah. Let's show you real quick. Yeah. The hips do lie because they don't do all the articulation we need.
But man, came with a lot of accessories for the time.
Yeah. Soft goods and camo patterning on the pants and movable helmet. And 2 different
blasters.
Portraits released a year across. Yeah, and a couple different blasters. So it's really not a bad figure. It's just not up to 2025 standards. So I get that. I think if they had done a 4-pack a couple years ago, people still, I would have been fine with it. I know.
Yeah.
Tyler's going to be yelling at me in the future, but but now, yes, using the digital sculpt of the Black Series one would be amazing. And I've said before, because they all wear the same pants, then they either have a vest or a jacket that people think is a jumpsuit or the trench coat, and sometimes they wear 2 of those. So there's a lot they could do going forward. But
aren't they also wearing a gray pauldron?
Oh God, absolutely not! You take that back.
Whoa.
That'll be another deep dive at some point. But there's a lot they could do with him.
Yeah,
if they do him, but there's also a lot they could do with Crosshair with the different his Imperial look and his different scarred heads and things like that. So we've needed a new Indoor Rebel Commando since 2023, but we've needed any Crosshair since 2020. Yeah. And as Evan always says, since the story reels came out years before that. But yeah, so I'm going Crosshair, but I don't begrudge you if you go Indoor Commando.
Yeah, it's a tough choice. These are all tough choices.
Yeah, it only gets harder. Sometimes in the first round, we have our wacky favorites that are, down near the bottom of the bracket or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's getting serious.
Yeah.
It's heating up.
Will you be upset if Crosshair doesn't come with his toothpick accessory?
Devastated.
Honestly,
most definitely will be upset.
Yeah. Okay.
That could
something to look forward to. The outrage in the community.
You could go beyond Luke and Indara's little comm links and droid collar, and for the smallest accessory ever.
All right, and then I think this is the last one, right?
Yes.
All right, it is Padme Amidala Geonosis versus Tech prequel versus new. Who you guys got? Jason.
Since when do we ever follow orders? I think again I'll go Tuck because never been done before. We do have a Geonosis arena Padme. She's not great, but we have no Tuck.
Yeah, toys are the way. How about you?
Oh, this one's so tough. I'm going Bad Batch, but I really want to also show some Revenge of the Sith. Just like
This is
prequel trilogy
okay.
love.
I
Yeah,
was gonna
this is
say,
Attack of
this is
the
Attack
Clones.
of the Clones.
I
He
know.
knows.
Big
He
fan, big
knows.
fan.
Give him a second.
Big
Big fan.
I'm just thinking about like, the anniversary is coming up. We already got through the Phantom Menace. Just like, come on, guys. Remember that we want some prequel trilogy figures. And while we have that Padme, she's also not great.
No.
But I don't have
Yeah.
any Bad Batchers, so I definitely
Yeah,
got to go tech.
Yeah, you do have Hunter.
Oh, I guess, yeah. I
Yeah.
keep forgetting.
I know,
He's all
right?
alone. I like barely use him because he's just over there drinking his life.
Yeah.
Alone.
Like,
It's
are
sad.
you the one that's doing the? Are you secretly doing all the photos of Hunter drinking in the cantina?
No, I
So-
wish.
If anybody's watching this at any point, be it now live or in the future, please reach out. I gotta know who you are because those just were delightful. I want to see more of them. I feel like that slowed down. I get it. It's got to be maddening posting the same photo every day. But
I think
Um,
Imperial Mike on Instagram does a lot of
I think so.
Hunter
yeah.
alone with like
With
a little like cardboard thing, like "Where's my
yeah,
friends?"
picket sign and stuff.
at the bar. So maybe he's influencing that too.
this
He should
this
just hang
comment,
out with the Knight of Ring.
yeah. Oh god.
Yeah,
And Jod.
another one to forget. It's lonely.
Teak.
This comment, yeah, Teak, but it makes me want Teak from the Ewok movies. I wish
Yes.
I'd put him
Oh.
on my top 25, and I feel stupid.
Dude, me too. Now, what am I
Yeah.
doing with my life? I need to go home and
Maybe the
rethink
dinghy
it.
driver version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big thick boy from the Ewok movies, or the tiny guy from Little
I want-
Crackhead Teak from.
I want the Ewok
That's a creep.
movies, the true movies, the real
Next
canon
year,
movies.
Wilford Brimley's going to be my top pick.
Hey, that's Noah Brickwell to you. Put some respect on it. Sweet. So yeah, it looks like I'm seeing a bunch of Padme in here. Man, it's another split.
Like
vote
Lorena
here.
says, I kind of agreed. Tech's on my list. I have that Padme already and wanted different Padme outfit first, but it's like we haven't had a Padme in so long, an all new one. And we have gotten this before. It's not great. That was kind of the 2013 when they kind of started. The last time they started cutting corners on figures, and like all the joint colors didn't match, and there was some missing paint and stuff. The face paint was just awful on some of those figures. She was number 55, so I think she's the lowest ranked figure. Indoor Commando was 46, Callus was 42, but she was the lowest. All the other ones were in the top 20 or so. And Tech was number 6 going into it. Yeah, buses for the 8 or Bad Batch fighting
just
Padme
looking at
for
that.
prequel love, because I know, like,
Mm-hmm.
people have been saying we need more prequel figures, so now is your time to vote for them. But people have also been shouting for the Bad Batch for probably longer than we've been screeching for prequel figures. It's been a more recent development after we've gotten through Rebels and some of the A New Hope mains and stuff. I think now the attention is fully on Bad Batch right now. I think turning towards prequels over the next couple of years after we've missed 2 big anniversaries now.
Yeah.
Vintage collection. But I mean, Dooku did well. But anyway.
But when will there be the time? Because there's also another big anniversary coming up in 2027. That's not a prequel anniversary.
And a new movie coming to the screens next year, and maybe. Well, there's always. I was going to say more new movies coming after that.
yeah,
They haven't had 6,000 movies.
Yeah.
Sounds like we need a bigger budget.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, 2025 and 2026 would have been a great time to do some prequel stuff, but
Yes. But
alas,
I
we
gotta-
have to return to Tatooine.
I still got to go Tech because I want the Bad Batch, and I have. But Padme, Lakeside Padme has been on my list. I would love any new Padme, but I'd love to finish the Bad Batch first.
So difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So, well, look at that. This is
Wow.
Wow. Thank you, Marco Martinez. Appreciate the hard work. It's really easy. We just make it look hard. So 3.75 forever. Agreed, my friend. Agreed. Thank you so much. And yes, there's about 111 folks watching right now. May as well just do the the thing, make sure that you've liked this video that you're watching right now and subscribe to our channel. But I'd also like to extend that call to subscribe, to also subscribe to the channels of these fine gentlemen that have joined us today, Toys Are the Way and Middle-Aged Kiwi Man Collecting Star Wars Figures.
Yes.
They also do incredible content and far more regularly on YouTube than we do. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Here's an update, Charlie Mike, so you don't have to rewind. Yes, Padme won her current round, but
yeah,
she won against Carson. Will she win against Tech? Who knows?
Yeah, let me, you know what, just to catch folks up, because I know we have more viewers now than we did a little bit ago. These were the results from yesterday. Wrecker, Two Tubes, Agent Callus, Asajj Ventress, Crosshair, Endor Rebel Commando, Padme Amidala Geonosis, and Tech all won their matchups yesterday. We will be posting these graphics on YouTube here, or not YouTube, well, also on the YouTube community, but on Instagram, and spreading those to be posted wherever. So this will be widely available knowledge soon.
Yep.
Can I just quickly comment on the Padme being sort of an underdog? What was she, 46?
She was
yes.
54,
made it this far. I wonder that if 54. Yeah, I wonder if that's as well. Like, if you talk about split the votes, Padme has about 67 outfits across 3 movies. So if you want a Padme, you know, and this one, I guess this one rises to the top as testament to Natalie Portman's early 2000s ab exercise regime. So, you know, it's voting for Geonosis Arena Padme, but it's really a vote for Padme in general, perhaps. And maybe that's why she's.
I think some of these. I think you're right. I think some of these characters that have performed really well, they were ones that maybe were split across. That people had submitted different things. Like I tried to reflect when that happens. Like if some people vote for Endor Rebel Commando, some people vote for Jumpsuit Commando, some people vote for Nick Sant or Old Man Rex or whatever. Even then, some people say that's not Rex in the movie. But
how dare you?
But so sometimes then those guys do, you know, better if they're not split across different looks. Carson Teva, he made it. He didn't quite beat Padme, but he was another guy with a lot of looks with his jackets and his formal attire. Or like Callus had, I didn't include votes for his hot Callus look from later on, or when he's the rebel, or you know, all these different things. But yeah, man, if people are fans of the character, maybe they're just voting for them in general. Not quite sure, but
yeah. So Padme was on my top 25, but the episode 1 version.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to see. I mentioned when we announced the top 64, but Padme did quite well. Yeah, Geonosis was her first one, then her Theed episode 1 look was second, then her Theed battle, then her lake gown version. I did it all already. Then Imperial Declaration.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a lot of Padmes to choose from, and that kind of does split the vote. But now that there's one to rally around,
there's also that Clone Wars version.
Yeah,
like the kind of tan suit.
I really like that version. Yeah.
Which
is so great with the Clone Wars Anakin that we have.
Yes, and it's sort of similar to her Geonosis look. It's not exact, but it is like if they cast it in tan and gave her the vest, I wouldn't be opposed.
I think they could
that.
utilize that. Like,
share
some tooling.
She also had that. She kind of wore her Geonosis look in Zero's palace or Zero's lair in the Clone Wars movie, but she had kind of the head wrap that from the episode 2 deleted scenes, and they made a animated figure of that. But so even though I said I want tech, see, that's lots of ways you can reuse that Padme.
Well, real quick, just those matchups we covered for the Sweet 16. Let's take a look at the schedule. That is Monday, March 17th. That is this coming Monday. Again, at the link on the bottom corner that you see on this screen, Linktree SWTVC.
Which you can find in our bio on Instagram as well. And we blast it in stories and we post it everywhere. So
yep, everywhere except for in the caption on this video. Yes, I know, John. I will fix that.
I was trying to politely ask multiple times. But
I know. I'm not
a lot going on.
Intentionally.
Put the link in the comments.
Yes.
Or in the chat right now.
Yes. Let's see.
Yes,
so there's that. And then honestly, you know, talking through it, things are speeding up, man. The Sweet 16 Monday, Elite 8 are on Wednesday, and by this time next weekend we will know who is going to the championship after the Final Four showdown on Friday. So yeah, that'll be fun. We will be doing a live stream this coming Wednesday, another edition of SWTVC Nights, guest TBD. Stay tuned. And then we will be doing the following Wednesday, the live championship show, where we will debut who is crowned in real time March Madness 2025 winner. So
unless Hasbro somehow announces all 64 in the next week.
yes, in which case we will pack it up and go home. But yeah, did you guys filled out brackets? Yes, Toys of the Way and Jason.
Yeah,
how are they looking?
I haven't been checking mine actually.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
I've got a few that have made it through to the 16. Baze Melbus was on there. I had Indoor Rebel Commando. He was low down on my list, I think, this year, but he was still on there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I as of right now, looking at the Sweet 16, I have 3 of 16 in play.
I had the Stranger as well, of course.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not too bad.
I was thinking of
Mara
a
and Echo.
bracket, and then I didn't do it, but I'm making a beat bracket. All right, okay.
Yeah, I didn't do the graphic version, John, that you so kindly spent a lot of time putting all the materials out to.
Yeah.
So
I spent time doing the printable one too, so it's fine.
Yeah. Sweet.
Like I said, I can't remember what I voted for yesterday, so I can't remember what I had on top.
All right. Well, is there anything else that we haven't talked about? Anything else you guys want to talk about? You know, how have you guys been feeling about this year's tournament? You've been having fun with it all?
Of course. It's March Madness, man. It's always a good time. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I feel like it's going by a little quicker this year.
Yeah. How's your, and you have your own respectable YouTube community. You know, how's the dialogue been over there? You folks kind of engaging there too?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I've been posting in my community tab to the links to vote and stuff like that, and people are pretty excited about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's been a pretty good year.
Heck yeah.
I do miss that one year where you guys kind of did like almost like a basketball like announcer podcast. I thought that was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, we replaced it with these weekly live streams. But yeah, we'll see. Podcast will hopefully be returning. Look to the skies in May, and we started
turning the live streams into podcasts, and then quickly started doing way too many live streams to have to have time to actually do that still. But
I think this one will go out as a podcast, but the previous 2 Wednesday night ones, the TVC nights, SWTVC nights, those will stay YouTube exclusive for now.
It's too hot for podcasts.
Yeah, too spicy for the podcast audience. Oh man.
It's been such a fun tournament again. You guys do an amazing job. And I think what's made it really interesting for me this year is just how many of the top ones from last year Hasbro's knocked off or announced.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, it becomes another depth of, okay, we've got a whole bunch of obvious ones and OT mains. Now what's bubbling up to the surface?
Yeah.
And I think combined with a bit of excitement in terms of this year's TVC lineup is looking pretty amazing already. We're getting amazing figures. We're up to like the 3rd wave this year already, and it's only March. And other stuff is starting to filter through. So it already feels like this is a much better year for TVC than last year.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd agree with that for sure.
It's cool to start seeing like characters like these that have been on the bracket start to actually make it to a physical plastic form.
I always say just the quality is just insane, but like the Snowtrooper Luke, Anakin, and Dara,
really good.
All the brand new stuff. Even the clone and Dedra reusing parts.
Like even right here, like you know, Kanan, Anakin, all these big names that have been on the brackets over the course of a couple years are starting to like, you know, finally make their way into our collections. It's just like Star Wars is such a big galaxy though. There's always new stuff coming in from the new shows. So I just feel like it never ends, but it's great to also look at our collection and be like, wow, we're actually getting some of this stuff that we've been wanting.
Yeah, it's sometimes it feels like people rage and say Hasbro's never listening, Hasbro's never making everything that we want. But then you look back at what people have been asking for over the past few years, and it does takes time to do this. Small budget, it takes time to bring all this stuff to fruition, but it is coming out. And like Jason said, like looking at last year, the top 10 were Balin, who's been made, Luke Tatooine, Shin Hati, Tanika's sister, Anakin Jedi Knight, Luthen Rail, Baze Malbus, still need those guys, but Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi, Snowtrooper, Moma Nadon, then Han Tatooine, Ventress still on the thing, Record Tech, Pong, Corel, Crosshair. So those characters just kind of rise up, and then new ones get in there, like the Stranger, when they don't make awesome new villains from new shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely just harder for them, I think, to keep up with that new media, just because everything's always so secret too.
Yeah,
that really doesn't help.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried the most about with the Mando and Grogu movie, where it's like we walk out of theaters and it's just like, oh my God, look, did you expect to see this character? And that's amazing. And it's like, oh, I can't wait to never get an action figure of them, or at least maybe for the 10th anniversary of the movie. I don't know.
You'll have Mando and Grogu though.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, honestly,
like
sometimes I'm not even sure that's a given. Their names are in the title.
That's true.
No promise that we'll actually get the figure.
Yeah,
didn't change his armor. It's actually like gold now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like there's a show called The Bad Batch.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is impressive to see all these characters getting knocked off. And we're still getting like environments too, like the vehicles and playsets, which do take from our tooling budget. So when you step back and take a look at the grand scheme of things, we're actually doing pretty well in terms of progress for TVC.
And when they center these picks around things like the Mos Eisley Streets or the Cantina, like people were asking for the New Hope mains and the Tonikas and Hammerhead were doing well for a while. Then like, yeah, okay, here's that stuff plus more. Obviously, you know, we're not making all 64 characters every year, but they are, and again, not tooting our own horn, not taking credit for it, but the fact that they're in touch with what people want, whether that's their ideas already or they are paying attention to polls and things like that. But who knows?
Yeah.
And I will say too, with just like, I'm not discouraged about the HasLab stuff, like the Ghost and the Cantina, where those were huge jump starts to begin filling some major teams and holes in our collections. And because those were successful, you know, we've seen them build the line around it, like you were saying, John, where it's the Cantina has a lot of these items now that are in the 2025 lineup. And the Ghost, you know, we are still seeing Rebels characters in the conversation. We're seeing versions of those characters, of those figures that were in the HasLab. We're seeing those materialize outside of that as well. So so I think that's
and to that,
why I'm not soured on that. I think it still ultimately is a big shot in the arm for, you know, giving us the raw material to work with to start getting some things to support major gaps that we have collectively been asking for overall. So.
Yeah. And I know some people are, you know, they say, oh, we're doing Return to Tatooine and getting excited about the Cantina. Well, where was that for the Ghost or the previous ones? But I think it was there. I just think they didn't say as much. Like when we look back at our posts a couple years ago of like, here's all the stuff that they made that goes with the Razor Crest. Here's the stuff that they made that goes with the sail barge and everything. We're still getting Ahsoka and Rebels figures with like the Howler and the Ghost are coming soon. Just got Imperial Chopper. You know, we'll see what gets revealed and we'll see what comes out. But I think that there's obviously it's still on their minds. We'll keep telling them if not. There's always more to be done. In terms of the tournament, I'll just say real quick while I'm still monologuing. Like I said, on the west side of the bracket, it's interesting that so many of the high seed characters are still doing well. So it is, you know, we get like 1,200 some votes, submissions of the lists, but obviously not every character is on every list. But then like as you expand that and a similar number, a few hundred more people are voting on every matchup, then hundreds of people are saying, yes, I want this character or that character. And it is staying in line with the data that we got from the top 25 submissions. Over on the east side, there's some more upsets and stuff. And there's more upsets in the early runs, but it all kind of shakes out as you get towards the Elite 8 and Sweet 16 and Final Four. But like we said, yeah, some of the big upsets on the east side are Callus, Endor Commando, and Padme. Those are ones that do, like I said, do have different versions and appearances. So maybe people are rallying around those characters in general now. Where they were split in the submissions, stuff like that. So it's interesting to see where it all shakes out. Yeah. And we'll do plenty of looking back at it afterwards, but
yeah. And, you know, just the usual thing that I've been saying on all of these streams where, you know, this is very much based in the mentality of we want more, we want it all. You know, it's not about what you don't want. It's not about what you don't like. It's about what you do want, what you do like, or what you'd like to see first if given a choice between two other things. So in a particular matchup, say if two things don't excite you, then yeah, think of, oh, well, which one would maybe be more interesting and go that way. So just that kind of things, trying to ground it in that wanting this all to be expansive and TVC to be that big catch-all, be-all, end-all line for the entire saga, for all of us to enjoy collecting. Yeah. I know so often we peer out the window at our Black Series brethren and be like, man, you guys don't have to ask for anything. You got it all. Yeah. So it's easy to be jealous. So I want that. I want people to get jealous of us. So
yeah. And if we have to wait longer for some characters, it often ends up better for us anyway. The articulation, the engineering is incredible.
Yeah.
And let us not forget that 2025 is the year of photoreal chest hair, which I'm very, very excited about.
Yeah.
We've already got a sweet preview with Evazan, and
that's the Revenge of the Sith Anakin we need to be rooting for, as I know he didn't have chest hair, but we need to be rooting for the waking up from the bad dream sweaty Anakin for the Revenge of the Sith 20th. You mentioned that too with like waiting for characters, and it ends up better for us. I don't recall who it was. I think it was someone's article this week where they had mentioned like, in a head-to-head, the Black Series figures look better or would win. And that's just, to me, not true. So I will go ahead and use this example. I have both the Black Series and the Vintage Collection in Dara. The Vintage Collection figure is leaps and bounds better than the Black Series version because we're not missing that thigh cut articulation. The likeness turned out better. The engineering is all around better on the Vintage Collection version. So it's like, I don't know if that holds true to say that the 6-inch one would be better. So
and Balin and Shen are not the same height in Vintage Collection, so that's exciting.
Correct.
And
Instantly better.
I still have the Snow Trooper Black Series and Vintage on my desk. It's clearly the same sculpt, and they're released 8 years apart, 9 years apart. But the Vintage one, has the soft goods for better posing, which I think I prefer, and it's got the shoulder pads as a separate piece for more articulation, more posing and stuff. You can have both. I like both. They're both are fine, but TVC is where my heart's at. Obviously, as I spend all of my free time talking about it and running community polls.
You've earned the right to just buy whatever the hell you want to, John. So.
Everybody has that right. Don't let them tell you.
No, I know. I'm just giving you crap.
The only thing you can objectively say is that one takes up more space than the other. That's about all.
Yeah. So,
each to their own.
I can actually fit a Vintage Collection vehicle on my shelf, unlike literally anything from the Black Series, but that's okay.
Where's our Black Series ghost? Let's do this.
It's the size of like a car.
Yeah. It's just
with a Ford Focus.
It's an old Geo Metro that they glued some panels onto. All right. Well, I guess we're kind of running towards the end here. So I want to, now's your chance. You got any rants? Anybody have any rants they want to go on about anything? Is there any lectures that you want to give to anyone watching? Jason, where can folks find you on the social media? Where can they find you on the YouTube, and anything else you want to throw out there for folks?
Yeah, thank you. Well, thanks again for having me on here. So I'm middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. I do what it says on the tin. I just, try and bring a bit of lightheartedness to the community, not take myself too seriously, and fun stuff. And I probably do the opposite of a rant and just I'm grateful where the line is today. We always have our nitpicks of things that we'd like to do better, the size of the cards and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, they're still pumping this stuff out. I feel like, as I said, this year's been a great year. I feel like Hasbro's going to get back to the prequel trilogy really soon. So that's the other thing I see is like OT versus PT, like you said, Evan. It's not us versus them. It's all together. We're trying to lift all boats.
Yeah.
And then I'm really hoping that 2027 is a celebration of the entire saga. I think some people say it could be a New Hope. It's going to be everything, right? Bring me Supreme Leader Kylo Ren.
Yes.
The 30th anniversary is one of my favorite lines they've ever done, because it was every wave was a celebration, the deepest cuts imaginable, from everything from games and comics and every movie, and it was just awesome. So I would love to see that again.
Oh,
We're getting a
yeah.
lot of great A New Hope stuff this year.
Yeah.
They can obviously do more, but I would like more from everything.
Well, and just that too, like if it is a celebration of all of it, part of me thinks, you know, are they laying the groundwork by doing all of these heavy hitters and these mains and doing these definitive updates so that there's not a huge backlog by the time we get to 2027 of the mains. And then you can do crazy things like, you know, wacky repaints, smart repacks to cost out other things of things that already exist with new stuff. So, you know, what is 2027 going to look like? We'll find out. So
Kitster and Walled for my boy
Yes.
Tanner.
There you go.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Kitster Walled Similo 3-pack would make John's
Oh my God,
life.
Ooh-wee. Ooh. What do those characters have in common?
throwing
Nothing. No,
Throwing
Simaloo
Fleeg
is
while you're at it.
Kitster. That's what it is. All
Why
right.
not? He reconnected with Vader, and yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, Lorena mentioning 2027 year of Duchess Sistine. Fingers
Could be.
crossed.
There we go.
Fingers crossed. All right, toys are the way. How about you? Where can folks find you? What are you up to? And what platform do you want to hop onto and let all of us know we need to listen to you for?
You guys can find me at Toys of the Way on YouTube and Instagram. I'm there pretty regularly doing videos and action figure photography and all sorts of TVC stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. I love both of you guys' channels. Yes,
Yes.
Jason, like you said, nice levity, nice positivity. It's easy to get hung up on our criticisms of this, that, and the other thing. But yeah, both
For
of you
sure.
guys always shout out the good, the great of TVC as well. And yeah, Toys of the Way, you're showing about your collection room. Just when you panned across, I was just reminded how amazing your setup is.
Thank
And
you.
Looking at it now, it's literally small on my screen, but yeah, both of you guys, awesome.
I'm so jealous.
yeah.
I wish I had a dedicated room, all three of you with your cool backdrops. And I'm like, I went to my work office and I got a couple things here. That's cool.
You just got to take over your work office.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, my boss walked in the other day and she's like, oh, you got a lot of stuff in here. And I was like, just wait. Just wait.
Just wait.
All right. Well, shall we wind things up?
Sure.
Or wind them down?
Wind 'em
wrap
down.
Up? I don't know. Who
You need
cares?
to go up, not down.
Yeah. So just to do a real quick refresher for the umpteenth time, voting resumes in March Madness, and it is for the Sweet 16, and that is on Monday, March 17th. Voting runs Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays for all of these things from 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find the link to that at the link tree on the very bottom corner of this very stream. You can find it soon in the description of this video. I will put that in there. If you're watching this on the replay, it should be there. It is in our Instagram bio. Kind folks such as Toys Are the Way and Middle-Aged Kiwi Man and Trow Man on Reddit and John Miko on the Facebook group and Yak Face. I'm going to miss all of them, but everybody out there is doing their best to make sure this is all spread out so that everybody can access it. We can get everybody participating because this is for everyone. We want you all in there.
Yes, and thank you all for reposting anywhere and everywhere that you do it. Thank you for letting people know.
Yes, thank you so much.
We want everybody's participation. We want everybody's voice heard.
Yes. So here's the reminder is while we are not at all affiliated with Hasbro in any way, they do pay attention to things like March Madness and these community events. So the more data, the more participation we can get, the better. Yeah, I think there's just a couple things there, and make sure to hit all those like and subscribe buttons for us and also for our esteemed guests. SWTVC will be back on Wednesday, March 19th. That's so soon. Why did I do this to us? We'll find out. That will be at 11 p.m. Eastern Time on this very channel where we will cover the week's action so far, including revealing that day's matchup results. We will likely be joined by another awesome guest. Stay tuned for the details. Any final thoughts before I tell everyone to stop watching and go home? No.
Don't
Just
forget to
thanks
vote.
for all
Have
you
fun.
guys, what you do. Amazing, incredible work. This is the blueprint for Hasbro for 2027. There we go.
Yes.
Top 64.
Just look
Nice.
at this.
Do it.
Yes. Just do all that.
No,
Heck
for sure.
yeah.
Always got to give you guys a lot of thanks and praise for making this community event. I think it's been very important for the community. It helps keep us all engaged and actually interacting with each other. And of course, it's also nice to centralize what we're thinking about together in terms of like what we want for our collections and showing that to Hasbro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
sort of.
that's why we do it, is for the praise in these parasocial relationships and get that dopamine hit.
No, but yes,
Just
but yeah,
kidding.
trying to synthesize the chorus. This guy saying that thing, that guy saying that thing. What are we saying together? So maybe
Mhm.
this is valuable for them. Maybe it's not, but hopefully,
Like Bo-Katan said, we're stronger together.
yes.
Yes. That's the quote I should be going for instead of
Apes
stealing
together
from
strong.
Planet of the Apes. But yeah.
You're just referencing how they stole Planet of the Apes costumes for the cantina, so it all makes
Yeah,
sense. It's all
yeah.
relevant.
It's all iconic. We're there.
Yeah.
So toys are the way. Jason, thank you so much for making time out of your day to be with us on this wonderful Saturday, or for you, Sunday morning. And we are so stoked to be able to get to do fun stuff like this and spread the good word and just chat with all of you cool peeps. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and we will continue chatting after this real briefly. But I guess, as always, for the SWTVC show, keep 375 alive. Back TVC. We want more. We want it all. Vote in TVC March Madness. And may the force be with you. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.